Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at the world of steel fabrication. We're going to be exploring a machine that's been making some serious waves. The Metaltek XB1200.
Oh, that's a cool name.
It is right. Now, you might be thinking, okay, another piece of equipment, what's the big deal? But trust me on this one. By the end of this deep dive, you'll totally see why the Metaltek XB1200 is an absolute game changer, especially for steel fabricators and structural engineers.
Yeah, you know what's really fascinating about this is that we're seeing this kind of like convergence of trends in the industry right now. So steel fabricators, they're being asked to just do more faster, tighter tolerances than ever before. And at the same time, everybody's pushing towards digitizing workflows
Yeah.
and using data to just optimize production. And the Metaltek XB1200 sits right at the intersection of all of that.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. We've got brochures, articles, even some technical specs here, all about this Metaltek XB1200. And one of the things that really jumps out is its versatility. It can handle like pretty much any structural steel profile you can imagine. Beams, columns, angles, pipes, flat plates, you name it.
It's true. The Metaltek XB1200, it's what's called a robotic CNC plasma beamline machine.
Whoa, break that down for me a little.
Sure. So CNC stands for computer numerical control, which basically means it's guided by a computer for just incredible precision.
Gotcha.
And then plasma beamline refers to the cutting technology, super hot plasma that cuts through steel like butter.
Ooh, that's satisfying to think about.
It is. And
Right.
that combination lets the XB1200 not only cut the steel with amazing accuracy,
Yeah.
but also mark parts with things like part numbers, welding instructions. So you're eliminating all those manual steps later on.
Okay, so I'm already seeing how this saves a ton of time and reduces errors, but let's break it down even further for our listeners. From what I'm seeing here, the Metaltek XB1200 offers some major benefits in three key areas: quality, productivity, and maybe most surprisingly, ease of use.
Yeah, you nailed it. Starting with quality, the XB1200 uses something called true hole technology.
True hole technology.
Yes, and this ensures that every hole is cut to the exact size and shape with no taper.
No taper, okay.
Yeah, so when you go to put a bolt in, it fits perfectly. Every single time.
That's got to be like a dream come true for any fabricator out there. No more time wasted trying to force ill-fitting parts together. And speaking of saving time, let's talk productivity. The XB1200 seems to have like a whole arsenal of features, all designed to streamline the fabrication process.
Absolutely. For one thing, it's got this really user-friendly touchscreen controller, the ART Profile Shop V4, that lets operators modify the cutting parameters on the fly.
Okay.
So if you need to make a quick adjustment, you don't have to stop the whole process and reprogram the machine.
Gotcha. I can definitely see how that would speed things up. But what really catches my eye here is this wireless remote control. It's almost like controlling a giant robot with your smartphone.
Exactly. And that gives the operators way more flexibility and control on the shop floor, so they can align and set up jobs faster without being tethered to a control panel.
I like it.
And then there's the etch marking feature that we touched on earlier, which automatically adds part numbers, welding instructions, alignment marks, basically all the information needed for downstream processes, right onto the steel parts.
It's amazing how they've thought of every little detail to maximize efficiency. It's like they sat down with a group of really experienced fabricators and said, okay, tell us all your biggest pain points and we'll engineer solutions for you.
That's a great way to put it. And they didn't stop there. The XB1200 also excels in what's called integrated workflow. It can integrate with existing CAD and MRP systems.
Wait, so you're telling me I can take a design straight from my CAD software and send it right to the XB1200? No manual data entry or file conversions.
That's exactly right. That streamlines the data transfer, eliminates potential errors, and makes the whole process incredibly efficient.
Nice.
And for those who love data, and I know all of you out there do, the XB1200 provides real-time reporting on things like cut times, consumable usage, completed parts.
Oh, very cool.
And that kind of data can be super valuable for optimizing production, identifying bottlenecks,
Yeah.
and making data-driven decisions.
It's like having a built-in efficiency expert right there on the shop floor. But it's not just about speed and data. The XB1200 also seems to really prioritize something that's becoming more and more important these days: safety.
Absolutely right. ART has built in a ton of safety features. The automatic fume extraction and filtration systems, for example, they meet the strictest OH&S requirements, creates a safer, cleaner environment for everyone.
That's a huge win, not just for the workers themselves, but for the whole surrounding community as well. Cleaner air, Less noise pollution benefits we can all appreciate.
Totally. It really shows a commitment to responsible manufacturing, which we're seeing more and more companies prioritize.
Okay, so we've covered quality productivity and the positive impact on safety and the environment. But this machine sounds incredibly sophisticated. How do you even begin to operate something like this?
Well, that's where the ease of use comes in. ART has gone to great lengths to make the XB1200 surprisingly user-friendly. It's got wireless networking for easy integration with computer systems.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you don't have to run cables all over the shop floor.
I was picturing that,
Ye-
yeah. But what if you do run into a problem? Is there support available?
Absolutely. They offer remote access for on-demand technical support.
Nice.
So if you've got a question or an issue, help is just a click away. And to make sure operators are confident and skilled, ART provides a bunch of different training options, both on-site and at their factory.
So whether you're a seasoned fabricator or just starting out, you've got the support you need to really get the most out of the XB1200. Okay, let's dive into some of its more specific capabilities. One that really stands out to me is the automatic material handling.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Imagine a system where steel beams, columns, plates are automatically loaded, moved through the machine for processing and outputted, all with minimal manual intervention. That's what the XB1200's in-feed and out-feed conveyor system does.
It's like this perfectly choreographed dance of steel, minimizing manual labor, streamlining the whole workflow. What else can this thing do?
Well, remember how we talked about its robotic arm? That arm doesn't just move material around. It lets the XB1200 cut and mark on all sides of a piece of steel, even underneath.
Whoa, hold on. So you're telling me you can cut a rectangular hollow section on all four sides, including those tricky 45-degree bevels.
Exactly. It opens up a whole world of possibilities for complex cuts and fabrications.
My mind is blown. And you mentioned earlier you uses something called hypertherm XPR technology for plasma cutting. What makes that so special?
Hypertherm is the world leader in plasma cutting technology, and their XPR systems are known for their speed precision cut quality. The cuts are cleaner, there's less material waste, and the consumables last longer, which saves you money in the long run.
So it's not just about the features themselves, it's about the quality and reliability of the components as well. But with all this talk about these high-tech features, I'm sure some listeners are wondering, okay, how practical is this machine really for a typical steel fabrication shop? Do you need special software or training to operate it?
Yeah.
Luckily, we've got some answers.
Yeah, let's tackle some of those frequently asked questions. First, software compatibility. Do you have to invest in all this expensive proprietary software to run the XB1200?
Please tell me it's not another software subscription I have to worry about.
Nope. The answer is no. The XB1200 is designed to integrate seamlessly with the software you're already using. It can import files from standard CAD programs, Tekla AutoCAD per Steel. No need to learn a whole new system or spend hours converting files.
Huge relief. Sounds like they really thought about making this machine as accessible as possible. But what about file types? Can it handle a variety of formats?
Absolutely. NC1 DXF, even 3D models like STL and STP, it's truly multilingual when it comes to file formats.
So no matter what software you're using or what type of files you're working with, the XB1200 can handle it. Impressive. But let's get down to brass tacks. How do you price jobs on this thing?
So the controller is really smart about this. It gives you a detailed spreadsheet that takes into account all the variables of a job. Number of cuts, holes, material length, etch marking details. And you can use this to create accurate customized quotes.
Okay, so no more guesswork or relying on outdated pricing models.
Right.
That's a level of precision any business owner would appreciate. What about those moments when you want to double-check everything before you actually commit to a cut? Is there a way to preview the file?
Of course. The controller has a built-in preview function, so you can see exactly what the machine's going to do before you hit go. And there's even a desktop version of the software, so draftspersons can check files in the office before they're sent to the shop floor.
Talk about peace of mind. Knowing that you can catch any potential errors before they become costly mistakes. And speaking of minimizing costs, are there any hidden fees for extra functionality? Do you need to buy separate modules to unlock all of the XB1200's capabilities?
Nope. The XB1200 comes fully loaded, all the features we've been talking about, from 360-degree processing to etch marking automatic material handling. They're all included right out of the box.
So no hidden costs, no surprise upgrades, just pure steel cutting power.
Precisely. And to make sure the transition is smooth, ART offers a bunch of support options, including on-site and factory-based training.
So whether you prefer to learn in your own facility or at the ART factory, they've got you covered. It sounds like ART isn't just selling a machine, they're providing a complete solution, training support and peace of mind. But we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much more to explore about the XB1200 and its potential to totally revolutionize steel fabrication.
You know, one of the things that I find really exciting about the Metaltek XB1200 is how it's changing the nature of work in steel fabrication.
That's interesting. We talked about the safety and efficiency aspects, of course. But what do you mean by, like, changing the nature of the work itself?
Well, traditionally, steel fabrication has been very labor-intensive, relied on skilled workers to do a lot of manual tasks. But with the XB1200, we're seeing a shift from manual labor to skilled oversight and management.
So instead of replacing jobs, this machine is actually enhancing the skills of those workers.
Exactly. Think of it as like giving those skilled fabricators superpowers. Instead of spending hours on tedious measurements and markings, they can use the XB1200 to handle those repetitive tasks. And this frees them up to focus on things like problem-solving, quality control, and even refining designs.
It's kind of a shift from brawn to brains in a way.
Exactly. And that's where the real value lies. It's about harnessing technology to augment human capabilities, not replace them.
It's a really cool synergy of human ingenuity and technological advancement, creating a more efficient and rewarding work environment.
Yeah, it is. And this is just the beginning. As technology keeps evolving, we can expect even more innovative solutions like the XB1200 to emerge, further transforming the landscape of steel fabrication and construction.
It really is an exciting time to be in this industry. With machines like this paving the way, who knows what incredible structures we'll be able to create in the future. Buildings rising with crazy speed and precision, intricate designs that were once impossible becoming commonplace. The possibilities really are limitless.
Totally. And let's not forget about the sustainability aspect. With the increased efficiency and reduced waste, we could even see a more sustainable approach to construction overall.
Right. Optimizing material usage, minimizing errors. We can significantly reduce the environmental impact of steel fabrication. It's a win-win for both the industry and the planet.
It really is. It's a testament to the power of innovation and collaboration. When engineers, designers, and manufacturers come together with a shared vision, incredible things can happen.
That reminds me of that quote. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And with machines like the Metaltek XB1200, it feels like we're actively shaping the future of steel fabrication.
I think we are. But for now, let's shift our focus back to the present a little bit and dive into some practical considerations that fabricators and engineers might have about the XB1200.
Great idea. Let's tackle some of those frequently asked questions we got. First one, space requirements. What kind of space do you need to install this machine? It sounds like a pretty substantial piece of equipment.
That's a great question. The XD1200 is a robust machine, but it's surprisingly compact given its capabilities. The exact footprint is going to vary depending on the specific configuration and material handling options that you go with. But generally speaking, you'll need a dedicated area that can accommodate the machine's length and width, plus clearance for material loading and unloading.
So not something you can just tuck away in a corner.
Probably not. But ART provides detailed layout plans and installation guidance to make sure it integrates smoothly into your workspace. They work closely with their customers to optimize the setup for maximum efficiency and safety.
Makes sense. Speaking of safety, what kind of safety features are built into the XB1200? We already talked about the fume extraction system.
Yeah.
But are there other measures in place to protect operators?
Absolutely. Safety is a top priority for ART. The XB1200 is equipped with a whole bunch of safety features. They use what are called light curtains, for example.
Light curtains, I've never heard of those.
So these light curtains create an invisible safety barrier around the machine. If anything breaks the beam, the machine automatically stops, prevents accidents.
So like an invisible force field protecting the operators.
Pretty much. In addition to the light curtains, the XB1200 also has emergency stop buttons located all around the machine. Safety interlocks to prevent operation when doors or access panels are open, and warning lights and alarms to alert operators of potential issues.
Wow. So multiple layers of protection to make sure operators can work confidently and safely.
Exactly. And ART provides thorough training on all the safety procedures, emphasizing the importance of a safety-first culture in the workplace. They've really taken a holistic approach to safety, considering both the design of the machine and the training of the operators.
Okay, good to know. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about maintenance. With such a sophisticated piece of equipment, I imagine there are specific maintenance requirements to keep it running smoothly.
You're right. Like any high-performance machine, the XB1200 benefits from regular maintenance. But ART designed the machine with ease of maintenance in mind.
Really? How so?
Well, they provide a comprehensive maintenance manual that outlines all the recommended procedures and schedules, gives you a clear roadmap to follow, and they design the machine with easy access to key components. So routine tasks like lubrication and cleaning are straightforward.
No need to dismantle half the machine just to check the oil levels.
Nope. And in addition to routine maintenance, ART offers a range of support options, including remote diagnostics and troubleshooting, preventative maintenance contracts, and on-site technical support.
So whether you need help troubleshooting an issue, or you just want to schedule a preventative maintenance check, they've got you covered. Their goal is to minimize downtime and keep your XB1200 running at peak performance. It sounds like they're really invested in the success of their customers.
They are. They understand that a machine is only as good as the support behind it.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this part of the deep dive,
Mm.
I want to touch on a topic that's becoming increasingly important these days, sustainability. We already mentioned how the XB1200 can help reduce waste by optimizing material usage. But are there other aspects of the machine's design or operation that contribute to a more sustainable approach to steel fabrication?
That's a great question, and it's one that ART takes very seriously. In addition to minimizing material waste through precise cutting and nesting, the XB1200 has several features that promote sustainability.
What kind of features are we talking about?
Well, for one thing, the XB1200 uses energy-efficient motors and drives, reducing its overall energy consumption. The Hypertherm XPR plasma cutting technology itself is designed for high energy efficiency and minimal consumable usage. And the fume extraction and filtration systems not only create a healthier work environment, but also minimize the release of pollutants into the atmosphere.
So it's not just about what the machine can do, it's about how it does it. ART is clearly committed to developing technologies that are both innovative and responsible, minimizing the environmental impact of steel fabrication.
Absolutely. They're leading the way in sustainable manufacturing, proving that you can achieve both economic success and environmental responsibility.
It's encouraging to see. Okay, we've covered a lot in this part of the deep dive. We've explored some practical considerations, like space requirements, safety features, and maintenance. And we've talked about the XB1200's commitment to sustainability. But there's one more crucial aspect we need to discuss: the impact of this technology on the workforce. Stay tuned for the final part of this deep dive where we'll tackle that very question.
Okay, so we've talked about how the Metaltek XB1200 is like a total game changer in terms of quality, productivity, and sustainability. But there's one question that I think is probably on a lot of people's minds. What does all this mean for the future of steel fabrication jobs?
Yeah, it's a totally valid concern, and one that deserves to be talked about. I mean, whenever we see new technology come along, especially automation, there's that natural worry about jobs being replaced. But I think it's really important to look at this shift from a different perspective.
Okay, how should we be thinking about it? Instead of seeing automation as like this big scary threat, let's see it as an opportunity. The Metaltek XB1200 and machines like it have the potential to actually elevate the role of the steel fabricator.
Okay, I'm listening. How does it do that?
Well, think about the kinds of tasks that the XB1200 automates. They're repetitive, physically demanding, sometimes even dangerous jobs. By taking those over the machine, actually frees up those skilled workers to focus on more high-level responsibilities.
So instead of like manually measuring and marking and cutting,
Yeah.
they can focus on things like quality control, problem solving, maybe even design optimization.
Exactly. They become the supervisors, the overseers, the masterminds behind the whole operation. They program the machine, monitor its performance, troubleshoot any issues, and make sure that the final product meets the highest standards.
So it's a shift from manual labor to a more knowledge-based technical role.
Right. And that obviously requires a new set of skills:
Mhm.
programming, data analysis, problem solving, and a deep understanding of the whole fabrication process.
It sounds like this is going to require some changes in terms of training and education, too.
For sure. We've got to make sure the next generation of steel fabricators have the skills and knowledge they need to really thrive in this new environment. That means investing in training programs that combine hands-on experience with theoretical knowledge, teach them how to operate, maintain, and even program these super sophisticated machines.
So it's not just about teaching them how to push buttons. It's about giving them the tools to really think critically, solve problems, and adapt to those new technologies as they come along.
Absolutely. And it's not just the responsibility of schools and stuff either. Companies like ART have a role to play as well, offering those training programs to their customers and working with schools to develop relevant curricula.
So it's a big collaborative effort, industry educators, government, all working together to make sure the workforce is prepared for the future of steel fabrication.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the potential for new jobs to be created. As more and more companies embrace automation, we'll probably see an increase in demand for skilled technicians, programmers, and engineers, the people who can design, build, and maintain these complex systems.
So while some traditional jobs might change, the overall impact on employment could actually be positive, leading to new, higher paying, and more specialized roles.
That's the hope. It's all about embracing change and investing in the right resources to make sure there's a smooth transition.
Well said. It's definitely clear that we're at the beginning of a huge transformation in the steel fabrication industry, with the Metaltek XB1200 and other advanced technologies leading the way.
And while there are sure to be some bumps in the road, I'm optimistic about the future. With the right approach, we can use these advancements to create a more efficient, sustainable, and ultimately more rewarding industry for everyone involved.
I totally agree. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the Metaltek XB1200. We've explored its capabilities, benefits, and even looked at the bigger picture, its impact on the industry, the environment, and the workforce. I hope our listeners found it as fascinating as we have.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation. I always love getting to unpack these kinds of topics and think about what the future might hold.
And remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation. Technology is always evolving, so we can expect even more exciting developments down the road. Stay curious. Keep exploring. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the one designing the next generation of steel fabrication marvels.
That's right.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on another deep dive. We'll see you next time.